All right, chapter 24, Hiphil verb stem. So just like the PL, this verb stem is going to have a different translations for the words we already know. For example, yada, to know, in the Hiphil is going to be to cause to know, to announce. So this is a verb stem that is translated as the causative. It is, like on page 269, bo, which we know is to come. It's to cause to come, or if you want to go with a synonym, to bring. So there's a little bit of liberty with how you can translate the Hiphil. For example, moot, which means die, and this one would be cause to die, right? So that's kill. And there are different words for slaughter, for all these different forms of killing. I don't know why I chose that one, but it's what I looked at. So there are some liberty with synonyms here. But really just a lot of it is going to be in your lexicons. When you're looking up words, it's going to show you what the synonyms are. So just don't worry too much about that. But yeah, a little bit more liberty here. Just like the PL, there are certain words that are going to come up in the Hiphil way more often than the call or the PL. So in the PL, that word was debar. They used that for the whole time. And this one is shalach, right? And so this is throw. Even in our vocabulary on page 268, it doesn't even give us another verb form to translate shalach. So, yeah, just know that one's most likely going to be in the Hiphil. So, start with the perfect. The main marker, there are two main markers for the Hiphil. One of them is going to be a prefix hey. And the vowels on that prefix hey are going to vary for different tenses, but a lot of times it's going to be that here, that E sound, right? And the suffix, it's going to be the same endings in the perfect as is for the call and the PL. The radicals or the roots are going to have some different vowels. For example, the first consonant is going to take a shava because if you pay attention to the syllables, it has the same amount of syllables as the PL and the call, but it has another letter. So what that means is the first two consonants, in this case, the hey and the yod, become one sound. So on the bottom there, you see he, di, ah, hidia, right? So she announced. That's in the third feminine singular. So just try to pay attention to the singular and to the pay attention to the syllables. Just like in our book when it says like read it out loud so you can hear the rhyme. Like that's actually really important. So just keep an eye on that, and that's why it's a shava under the first letter, under the first root consonant, is because it's making sure we've got the same syllables in a lot of cases. Of course, there are always oddballs, but Hebrew. So yeah, the imperfect is going to be look very similar, but the first consonant is going to have, or I guess the prefix consonant is going to have the pata vowel, the ah sound. So in the call, oftentimes you get the hirek, the e, so like the t sound, the ye sound, ni, stuff like that. Look on page 271, you'll see there. And then in the in the Hiphil, we're going to get that ah sound. So that'll also be as a signifier. And then we also have the second biggest marker of the Hiphil, which is a Hirik Yod vowel. So you'll see under the after the second root consonant, there's going to be a Hirik and then afterwards a Yod. Now that's going to act as one vowel. So you say that as one sound. So down the bottom there, T, D. And if that was another letter, like let's say it was matzah, it'd be team meets. Yeah, I think that's right. Team meets. So there's going to be stuff like that. But that's how you do that vowel sound, the hirik yod. Just keep an eye out for that, so you can see different vowel under the prefix, and then that yod in there in between the second and third consonants. Now the participle, it drops the hey hirik, right? So if you look on page 272. There's no more hey. It's going to be a ma sound. So it's a mem and a pata. And so it's really clear when you're looking at the verbs. Just if you recognize a participle or something, or you have if you have a verb that has a ma sound and then the again that yod, it's gonna, or the hirik yod combo, it's gonna make it pretty easy to point out, or shouldn't say pretty easy, gonna be helpful. Now there are some regularities. So in the feminine singular form, you don't get the hirik yod sound, and instead you get a segel, but you still have that prefix ma. So in the call or the pa'al, like there's a prefix mem, right? No, there's not. Excuse me. Getting ahead of myself. No, there's not. Prefix mem is the Hiphil. Now the command or imperative form, we gain the hey back, but instead of a heuric vowel, which is a he sound, it is now a pata. That's a ha sound. And the suffix, it's going to be the same as the call, and we get the same verb patterns as the call and the PL. So you take away the tov, and then you keep the vowel pattern, and then you throw in that prefix ha sound. So down at the bottom we have hey, de, hadi, hadi. So that one right there is going to be the command form. You'd pronounce that, just because it's imperative, you don't really mention what it's modifying. It's announce, do, run, walk. It's a command, and that right there is the feminine singular. The infinitive form. This one it has the prefix, the prefix hey, just like most of the Hiphil, and it has a pata, so it's going to be a ha sound, but that comes after the fixed preposition, which is going to take a shabah. So, but in this case, lamed, it'd be you see on the bottom on the second there, under translation, le hey di, lehedi, right? So that's to announce, and the infinite never agrees. So what this is right here, it's to announce, to do this, to do this. We use the infinitive, we've seen it, we know how it's used. Then there's the infinitive of emphasis, and it drops the heuric yod, but you're still going to get that prefix hey. So, if you don't see the yod, but you see the preposition, you think, oh, like it doesn't have the yod, so it can't be the Hiphil. It's going to be an infinitive of emphasis, which is going to, and we've seen that as well. You can go review that if you need to. But yeah, and then let's just review over the other verb forms that we have. The call or the pa'al is a simple tense, yada. The PL you recognize, and I don't think we really need to go over with the call how to recognize it. That's what we learned. We're most familiar with. The PL you recognize it by the dagesh in the middle consonant, yade or yide, right? So it has, and that's you translate that as intensified. So it's going to be a more intense knowing, maybe believing. That's not the right word, but just going for the synonym game. And then the Hiphil down there at the bottom, what we just did, is a prefix te and then a heuric yod after the second consonant. And you translate it as causation. So all these roots that we know, all these things that we're becoming familiar with, again, we get new vocabulary. So words change, like we know yada is no, but in the Hiphil, it's announce, right? So there's going to be new vocab. So make sure that you're keeping up on the vocab, because if you can recognize the Hiphil, but you don't know how that changes the translation, I mean, you'll know it's a verb, but it's not going to help us get a good translation, and that's what we're looking for. So just make sure you keep up on the vocabulary to know the new words that are formed by these new verb tenses or new verb stems, excuse me, that we're learning. All right. Good luck.